Okay, class, we're going to talk about your next assignment, which is Assignment 3. And Assignment 3 has an Assignment 3A, which is the portion you have to turn in by this next Wednesday, and Assignment 3B is the portion where you have to go in and peer grade. So 3A is going to be due by January 28th at 4:59 p.m. where you submit yours into Canvas. And 3B, when you peer grade, is going to be due by Friday, January 30th at 4:59 p.m. where you go back in after the due date of 3A and peer grade 3 other assignments according to a rubric, just like you did for Assignment 1. So Assignment 3 is all about a resume and a cover letter, and then explaining how you're tuning your resume and cover letter towards the companies you're looking at. So if we go into assignments in our course shell and look at Assignment 3A and 3B, and this is in the publish mode because I haven't published it yet, it'll look slightly different to you once I hit publish. But this has all the instructions in it for you to read right now. So Assignment 3A, again, it's due by 4:59 p.m. on Wednesday the 28th, is to watch this video, and then know the details of what's expected of you in this assignment. So what you're going to have to turn in is a Microsoft Word document file. You're going to have to upload that file into Canvas. You're not typing into a text box inside of Canvas for this, but you need to write your document in Microsoft Word, learning all those skills you obtain from the lynda.com Word videos, whether it's Mac or PC. You're going to make a 3-page Microsoft Word document. The important parts are that it's 3 pages. It should be 3 distinct pages in a single document, and you need to use 12-point font for the entire document. So again, you're going to upload a document into Canvas, use 12-point font. You should know how to change the font size from the videos you watched on Microsoft Word, and be sure to include page breaks between each of the 3 pages. Look it up in the videos, look it up in the Microsoft Word search box about what a page break means. All it means, it's going to be a clean, distinct 3-page document where page 1 is one item we're going to talk about, page 2 is another item we're going to talk about, and page 3 is a third item we're going to talk about. So it's one document, 3 pages long, where each page does a specific portion of the questions we're about to ask. So page 1 is going to be a cover letter. So it's a 1-page cover letter like you're applying for an internship or for a job. And we're going to use the UFCRC guidelines, which I'm going to go over with you in a second what that means for the cover letter. Do not put your real address in the cover letter. I'm going to repeat this 2 more times. Do not put your real mailing address in your cover letter or your resume that you're uploading for this assignment, because this is going to be peer graded. So for your own privacy, do not, third time I'm saying it, do not put your real address in the cover letter or in your resume. Use this generic Gator address that I've put into the assignment description for the address you use for everybody. So use this 1234 Alligator Lane, Gainesville, Florida, 32611 for your cover letter and for your resume. So your real mailing address or home address is not shown to your peers when they're peer grading, okay? Again, in the cover letter, you're going to include something that distinguishes you from the hundreds of other applicants. When we talked about our professional email lecture a little while back, I went through and described that person that had gone through and found a research paper of a professor and talked a little bit about it. Another thing for a cover letter, and we'll go through this with the CRC guidelines in a minute, is what makes you a special applicant. What specific qualifications do you have? Experiences do you have? Other skill sets do you have that are tuned to this specific company you're applying to that will make your resume and your cover letter stand out from everyone else's? So make sure the person you're writing this cover letter to knows you're interested in their specific company and posting and why you are the best fit for it. So in the cover letter, it's a little bit of marketing yourself to this position, and make sure you can write a little bit that distinguishes yourself from everyone else, because they receive hundreds of cover letters for jobs. What's going to stick out that they're going to put you in the "we should probably interview this person" pile versus it's another person with a good GPA. Okay, so something specific in the cover letter to this company that distinguishes you. Page 2 is your resume. a one-page resume, and we'll go through this with the CRC format as well. They have good examples for you to follow, and we'll talk through them. One-page resume, again, 12-point font. Do not use your real mailing address in your resume. Use this 1234 Alligator Lane that I'm putting in here as the example address. Use that generic address so your address is not shown to all your peer reviewers. If you use this resume or cover letter later, change it back to your real address before you send it out to a company for an internship. But for this assignment, use this generic 1234 Alligator Lane as your address. Keep your resume simple, professional, clean-looking font style choices. All fonts should be 12-point in size. This is something you should know how to do. Do not include clip art, colored font, distracting logos. They don't look professional, so don't use like Comic Sans, goofy font, things that are hard to read, goofy Gothic styles. Don't include a cute little Microsoft paperclip man picture in there or any clip art. These are distracting things. It does not look clean and professional, but we'll talk a little more through this when we look at the CRC examples. Again, be sure to tune your resume to the specific company, organization, type of position you're applying to. Do not use generic phrasing such as, I'm really looking for an entry-level position in marketing. Yeah, and so are the 100 other people that just sent in their resume. Something to distinguish why you want to work at that company in that position. Something other than entry-level generic position marking, no dear sir or madam. Make it special. Show why you're special. Show why you really want to go to this job. Because if they see people passionate about what they do and their resume is tuned to showing the specific skill set that would work best at that company and highlighting those items, they are going to want to pull you into the interview pile versus the, no, let's not interview that one pile. Tune it to the company. Make yourself stand out in your resume, and we'll talk a little bit more about that too. Part 3, or page 3, again, this is a 3-page Word document where you're going to do a page break between each page. Look that up if you don't know what a page break is in Word. 12-point font. The third page, page 3 itself, needs to be a minimum of 400 words and a maximum of, it can't go over a page. So 400 words on page 3. And what page 3 is going to be is a description. There's 5 questions in there I'm going to read through. You need to answer those 5 questions in text that describe what you did special in the first 2 pages to tune your resume and cover letter towards a company. So on the 3rd page of this assignment, this Microsoft Word document you're going to upload into Canvas, you're going to describe your work on the first 2 pages. So in text, you need to answer these 5 questions. What is the name of the company organization you're applying to or applying for, and what do they do? So we're going to talk a little bit about this when we look at the CRC website. You're going to find a company on your own that is in the field you want to work at, or an organization, go into the military or go in the work for the government. Company, organization, start your own business, but as if you were applying to a startup for this assignment. So what is the name of the company or organization you're applying for, and what do they do? Do some research on these companies. Know in a sentence what this company does. You should know a little bit about them before you apply to them. So this is you doing your background research on them. The second question you need to answer on that 3rd page of your document is, what is the title and type of job you are applying for? Again, this could be a real posting you find on their website, or it can be an imaginary posting. Not all of the companies you might want to go work for right now have a job posting opening, but think about the different titles that are out there for jobs that would be something that you'd apply for an internship or a job for. What's the title and what type of job is it? What would you be doing? So you need to describe that in words. The 3rd question you need to answer on this 3rd page is, how does that job relate to what you're studying here at UF? So there's a company with a certain job. How is this relating to what you're studying? So what are you doing here while you're at the university that's tying into this job or internship you're applying for. The fourth question is, how did you tune your resume specifically for the job and company you're applying to? So your resume just shouldn't be generic. Remember, you're going to tune it a little bit towards this company you've done research on. And I want you to explain on this third page what you did differently to your resume to tune it specifically for that company and job. What are you distinguishing in this version of your resume for this posting? And the fifth question is, what did you add in your cover letter to distinguish yourself from the hundreds of other applicants on the same job? So this goes back to this same assignment. You wrote a one-page cover letter. Describe how you made yourself stand out, what you did differently to tune that cover letter to the company and to highlight your strengths that would interact with that company well, that they said, oh, this person's a good fit. So how did you tune that cover letter towards this job? And again, you're going to write this in one Word document that's 3 pages long, a page for each one of these items. I call them page 1, page 2, page 3 in the assignment description. That Word document you need to upload into Canvas. You're not typing it in or copying and pasting. You're making a Word document and uploading it by 4:59 p.m. on Wednesday the 28th. At 5 p.m. on Wednesday, let me scroll back up here, you're going to log back in and then grade 3 other peer assignments like you did for assignment 1 using a rubric, and that's due before the assignment 3B, the peer grading part's due before Friday at 4:59 p.m. And it's according to a rubric that we're going to go through in a little while. I'm going to go through the CRC website and then I'll go through this grading rubric. It's something out of 11 points. So in this question 1 and question 2, or page 1 and page 2 of this document you're going to upload, I keep referring to the UF CRC and their guidelines. And what that is the Career Resource Center. If you don't know what the UF Career Resource Center is, we're going to introduce it to you, but you need to go visit them. They are consistently ranked one of the highest or the best career resource centers in the country at colleges. You are very lucky to have this as an asset to you at UF. Use it. Use it, use it, use it. UF Career Resource Center. It's going to be hard to see these letters here maybe in the video, but it's www.crc.ufl.edu, or look up Google UF Career Resource Center or UF CRC. You'll find this page, crc.ufl.edu. That's the front page to the Career Resource Center. They are excellent. There's so many resources in here for you to use. 2 of the ones we're going to look at is they talk about what a cover letter is and they talk about what resumes are and have examples of both. And we're going to talk through them so you can do these 2 portions of your assignment 3. So this is the Career Resource Center front page. If you look under students on here and resumes and cover letters, it'll take you to this page here about resumes and cover letters, and that's what we're talking about today. So it goes through a good, brief but thorough enough description for you to self-learn and read through here what a resume is and what a cover letter is. So resumes, it goes through the basics, writing your resume, review and revise. And what they do is they will offer a service to you. You don't need to do it for this assignment, but before you actually apply for a job, where they'll review your resume and give you feedback. For this assignment, you just need to read through the basics and writing your resume. And it goes through what a resume is. It's a professional summary of you, lets employers get an understanding of who you are, your experiences. This is an important part that I've tried to reiterate, but they do in different verbiage, which is good, so you can hear it multiple ways. You need to make it easy for them to see that you're the top candidate and you're the right fit and you're distinguishing yourself from everyone else. Writing your resume says start by looking at the examples, gives you example for content, summarize your experiences in a way that shows your responsibilities and the impact you've made. And putting this in writing and thinking about your experiences, it'll help when you interview as well, because you'll have gone through this process and you can tell these little stories of your experiences. How to write it and format it, there's a lot of personal preference in that, but what I'm expecting of you in this assignment is to follow one of these 2 examples they have here in the CRC. and recreate it in Word using those skills you've built in watching the lynda.com Word videos that we were using for instruction of formatting in Word. So on this resume and cover letters page, there's two resume examples, one cover letter example and then a resume preparation document. In this resume preparation document, there's two examples for resumes. So let's see where we're going to start. We'll start with the cover letter. So after you've read this resume part, read through this cover letter part. It's very brief, but the best way to go through it is to go to this page and look at these two examples, and they go into a PDF in more detail of how to make a cover letter and how to make a resume. And when I say follow the CRC guidelines, I mean follow these guidelines right here. Cover letter preparation, pretty easy. Address, use that generic address I put in the description of the assignment. Don't use your real address in this assignment so your peers don't see your address. Name of contact person, title, organization. This is the person you're writing the cover letter to. Make up a name if you need to. Use a valid organization you might want to go work at. Google their address. Dear contact person, try to find, if you can't find an actual person, think of a title or a formal name to use. And go through these items. I want to see these 4 paragraphs in your cover letter. This is what I mean by following the CRC format. There'll be points for the grading rubric based on following this format. So opening paragraph, who and why, strong opener, get their interest, name of the job you're applying for, mention name of person if someone referred you, highlight your skills and experience. If someone didn't refer you, you don't have to do this one little bullet in here. It's not going to be, they didn't have this third bullet of a person referring them when we peer grade or the TA's grade. But I do want to see these 4 paragraphs that address these 4 issues. So you should have an opening paragraph that goes through the who and why, a second paragraph that goes through your skills and qualifications, acknowledge the skills required by the position, discuss your skills and strengths that connect you to that position that they say, oh yeah, this person's a good fit. Consider discussing related achievement or success story and how it would work well for you in that job. The third paragraph, you and the company. Comment on your knowledge of the company, their products, services, projects. This is how you've done a little bit of research on the company to distinguish yourself from everyone applying. Like, I really want to work for you, not just a marketing firm, your marketing firm, because of this, this, and this. Briefly state why you think you would be a good fit. Show you've researched the company. I've repeated this, but I'm glad to see it in the CRC format as well. Closing paragraph is your action step. Restate any important themes. Refer to your enclosed resume. Assert yourself by telling them that you can call me or I will call you. I want to see this closing paragraph, a nice, clean, but assertive and positive ending to your cover letter, and sincerely your name. This is what I mean by following the CRC guideline. It's going to be 1 page. The first page of your Word document should be a cover letter that goes through these items in this guideline. Let's see. Let's go back to this resume and cover letters page. It was off of that resume and cover letters, and that was the CRC guidelines for cover letters. For resume, it's that other document to the right, is resume preparation. This is what you need to read through to make your 1-page resume. That's the second page of the Word document you're going to turn in. So resume preparation. What is a resume? This is good. Read through this. Resume is a summary of your education, experiences, and skills for potential employers. The physical appearance and what you say and how you say it affects their decision to interview you or not. A lot of people will take a 20-second look at a resume and put it in an interview pile or a not interview pile. Keep it professional, keep it clean, highlight the things that they say to highlight in here, and you have a great chance with the cover letter tuned to the company of getting in the interview pile. I want you guys all to be very successful. This is a class learning how to use, in this case, Word, but we're doing it in a manner to get your resume in shape for your potential positions. So read through what they say in here. These are important things they have in bold. Be relevant, concise, and consistent in your layout and writing style. Resumes get you interviews, not jobs. So the resume is a good step to distinguish if you're going to go in the interview pile or not interview pile. And it's that first step to get your foot in the door. These are 2 example resumes. When you do your page and your assignment 3 you turn in, I want you to follow one of these 2 example resumes. Clear, clean font, no colored backgrounds or goofy clip art word items stuck in there, but good clean font, clean layout. Look at tabbing and paragraphs and laying stuff in. Let me zoom in here a little so you can see these a little better as we talk about them. So I want you to follow one of these 2 formats you see within the CRC guidelines. Pick one or the other based on where you see your qualifications and what you see about yourself, and which one of these 2 speaks to you a little better. But when I mean follow it, I mean actually follow the layout. I want this, your name, centered. This address and contact information centered. Don't put your real address in here. Again, your peers are going to review this. You shouldn't be giving out this private information for this class assignment. Use that generic address I gave you. Make up a generic email and phone number. Don't put your real stuff in there for this assignment. If you use it later, please change it to your real stuff so companies can find you and they're not looking for you at 1234 Alligator Lane. But for this assignment, use generic items. I want you to use a similar spacing for everything. Objective, tab over and make this little space to stand it out that it's not all left justified over here. Education. One thing in resumes is you list your education, tab this over to a separate thing so it's not all on the left side of the paper. And when you list your education, look at these formats as they've written them. Follow the guidelines for this. Follow either one of this or this one, either one, but I want it to look very similar to one of these for the layout for this assignment. When you list education and experiences, they recommend something when you read through these guidelines. It's called reverse chronological order. So list your most recent one first. So this Bachelor of Arts was in 2009, and the 2006 item was listed second. So list your oldest experiences last in each subcategory. Again, with experience, something they started in 2008 came first. Their other experience in 2007 was later. And this is someone that's looking maybe at a teaching or a faculty position, so they have these teaching items they're highlighting. Involvement, foreign language partners, volunteers, these are things that can distinguish you for the field you want to go in. Skills, languages are good skills, computer skills. I really want to talk for a second about languages. In your first assignment, for everyone that I could and read through in detail and time to comment on, I read a lot of people that on their first assignment said they were looking at a minor in Spanish. That is really, really cool. If you have credits left, learn Spanish, get a minor in Spanish or another language if you know you want to work in a certain international company. I can't tell you how far you'll go if you speak a second language. In the U.S., primarily, Spanish would be a great second language to have, but it makes you very marketable. I had a number of friends that went through their undergrad and minored in Spanish and then went to law school and are bilingual lawyers. They're back in Tampa and Miami, and they are doing great business because they can serve another level of a community, as well as companies will put them out in front of people and be in manager positions because they can talk to potential customers or employees that speak multiple languages. Again, within Florida, the U.S., we're concentrating primarily on Spanish, but if you know you want to work at an Italian company or at a Chinese company or Korean company, consider minoring one of those languages. If not, find fluency in them in another way. So that's just my side note on languages. If you can get that as a skill while you're in school, please do it. So if you look at this one looks more like a teaching position they're looking for. The one on the right looks more like a position for management or a job or an internship. Think about what you want to apply for and tune it in different ways. So in this one, the experience is more being an intern and a manager instead of teaching like in the other one over here. But this one shows different leadership skills, which could be good if you're looking to be a manager or lead a team at a company or lead a project. Awards, affiliations, good things to highlight. So follow one of these two formats for the second page of your assignment you turn in. And I showed you where to find this document on the CRC website. I'll also put the link in our syllabus within Canvas. And then when you go through, let's see what else it highlights here. I'm going to zoom back out. So a checklist that to go through: most important info first, consistency, relevant to objective, no pronouns, how to put sentence fragments in a resume. You only have so much space, so you don't want to do like every single word of the description of something. You need to learn how to make it concise, clear, and professional. Again, if they can look at it in 20 seconds, read it, and get what they need out of it, and it highlights the right things, they're going to put it in the interview pile. It takes them too long to read, and they don't even want to look at it. It's like too long of an email. No, I'm not going to go through that. Include your skills, employer's needs, keep it professional, proofread it, have a friend proofread it, check your spelling and grammar, have someone that's good at that read through it once. Spelling errors are number one thing that people are like, really? You didn't even try, you didn't even check your spelling. So read through this checklist and read through these example resumes to create a one-page resume that's the format of one of these two, and use those skills you learned in Microsoft Word to make the tab overs or to make a right justified address and a left justified address. So I want you to make the visual format look like these using the skills you learned in Microsoft Word. Keep it clean and professional, and use this guideline for what you put in the resume itself. So what comes after resume and cover letters was the third portion of the assignment. Let me go back to the assignment. And that's, again, describing the third page of your document. It will be describing how you tuned that resume and cover letter to these companies, and make sure you go through and answer every one of these questions on the third page. So everything that ends with the question mark in here, you need to include in that third page of your document you upload, and make sure that third page itself is at least 400 words. So to go through for what we're going to do for grading, and here is the grading rubric. So to look at the grading rubric, this is how I want you to go through and peer grade, and this is what your grade will be based on for the grade for the assignment. So let's talk through this. So for your grading rubric, you're going to have 1 point out of the 11, this whole assignment's worth 11 points, that your document is 3 pages long, no more, no less. 1 page of cover letter, 1 page of resume, 1 page that answering of those 5 questions. And you're using 12-point font. So on your resume, you might do a few titles that are a little larger than 12-point. That's okay. But put the main body of the resume page at 12-point font. Put all of your cover letter in 12-point font. And leave that third page as 12-point font that's answering those 5 questions. So 1 point for that. And when you do peer grading, know that you can give a partial point, so you can take off 0.5 points. It doesn't have to be 1 or nothing. So think about it that way when you're doing your peer grading. The second point, so one point out of the 11, will be that third page of your document that's answering those 5 questions is at least 400 words long. So when you're peer grading, that third page needs to be 400 words long and no more than a page. 3 points out of the 11, the next criteria for your grading rubric is going to be your cover letter. So that first page is a cover letter, and it needs to have professional appearance, proper grammar, proper spelling, those distinguishing characteristics that are going to make you stand out in your cover letter from everyone else, that you've researched that company, that it shows why they should hire you. And it follows that CRC format, that format we went to for cover letters. Let's see which one we got here. That's resume. Resume and cover letters. This CRC format is part of those three points, that you've done this 4-paragraph format in your cover letter preparation. And that's part of the 3 points you'll earn right here to be graded by your peers. The next section for the grading rubric, 3 points, is for that second page, your resume page. So on that, it should have professional appearance, Proper grammar, proper spelling, company specific. You've tuned the resume to the company, as we've talked about earlier in this video. And also it follows those CRC guidelines. So the CRC guidelines for resume is this document here. And again, I'll put links on the syllabus for this, but if you go to the CRC page and show you through students, you can find these yourself. So 3 points goes that you've made it into this structure. One of these two structures, again I'll zoom in for a second here, that it looks visually like one of these two, and that you've followed the information and the guidelines that they've outlined in here when you read through this document. Let's go back to the grading rubric. So that's this resume portion here. So 3 points out of the 11 are for that. And the last 3 points out of the 11 are for their description of work. So the third page of the Word document you're going to upload, you need to have proper grammar, proper spelling, addresses the 5 questions outlined in Assignment 3A. So again, those 5 questions, if you look up here, is you need to make sure you're addressing anything that ends with a question mark in here. 1 question mark, 2, 3 tremendous question marks, 4 fabulous question marks, 5 question marks. You need to address those 5 questions in the third page of your Word document that you upload into Canvas. So that's the grading criteria that your peers will be grading you by, and then me and the TAs will look when we coalesce the peer grades to assessing your final grades. And again, remember, you can give partial points. It doesn't have to be 1 or 0 for 1 point. You can give a half a point if they just made some minor error on part of this. That one's hard to make a minor error on. If they got one of the two things, so it was 3 pages long, but they didn't use 12-point font, just take off a half a point. You don't have to take off the whole point. So those are the grading criteria for your third assignment. And again, I'll go to the CRC page for you to look at for a second here. So we're going to go back to the main CRC page. Where you're going to find those items again is students, resume, and cover letters. And these are the 2 examples and guidelines to use. I want to go back to the CRC page for a second too, just because you might not know who you're going to apply for, what companies you're going to look at. The CRC has lists of companies. There's something called the career fair that is coming up at the beginning of February, that if you do this assignment and get your resume in place, you could actually use this assignment to apply for a job or an internship at the upcoming career fair. So let's look at what they have coming up. So spring 2015 events, let's look what's going on with the Career Resource Center at UF. Getting a redirect for login. Let's go back. Students, let's see, Career Showcase, here we go. Learn more, see yourself at Career Showcase. Let's learn about the Career Showcase. Career Showcase will be on February 3rd and 4th. This is a really neat opportunity for you to interview, to turn in your resume to different companies. And if you go through here and follow this website, you can find the companies that are going to be here. So you'll find this thing down here where it says registered employers, attend workshop information sessions and other events. You can look through registered employers to find who's going to be here if you don't have an idea for the type of company you want to work for. When you click on this registered employers, if you have not done this already, CRC is going to ask you to fill out a little bit of information about yourself to tie to your Gator link, and that's some address information and some information regarding your major, because then it can help cross-reference. There are hundreds of people that are coming with potential job opportunities for you, and it'll weed down to a shorter list of companies that you might want to consider. So this is a good idea if you don't really know where companies you might want to look at yet to tune this resume and cover letter, but it's also a great idea just for your own future to look at this now. Get involved with this now. This is consistently rated the #1 career resource center in the country. Please use it. These people are awesome, and you are very lucky to have them. And I'm going to try to get you started by making your Word assignment one where you follow their guidelines for a resume and cover letter. And maybe you go to this career resource fair on the 3rd and 4th of February and use these things in this class, and hopefully I can get some stories back that, hey, I got my internship from this. But that is one goal as well, is for you guys to be successful. But that is what your assignment 3 is. And I think that's about all I'm going to cover in this. So again, it is due by 4:59 p.m. on Wednesday the 28th. It's a 3-page Word document you're going to upload into Canvas that you're going to do in Word, and you should have the technical skills to use Word now, and these are the things you're going to do in that Word document. After you turn it in, assuming you get it in on time, the computer will assign you 3 people to peer grade using the rubric we went through, and you need to log back in after 5 on Wednesday the 28th, before Friday the 30th at 4:59 p.m. and peer grade 3 assignments using this rubric that I've outlined here. Alright guys, so that is what your assignment 3 is, and I hope you have fun with it and get some great resumes and cover letters out of it. Take care.